L. Ron Hubbard's The Creation of Human Ability is a pivotal book in Scientology because it fully introduces the theta mess theory, which Hubbard claims is a scientific framework for understanding the interaction between spiritual energy, theta, and the physical universe, mest, matter, energy, space, and time. This book is where Hubbard leans heavily into pseudoscience, attempting to blend metaphysical and esoteric ideas with scientific terminology to give his theories a veneer of credibility. In doing so, Hubbard borrows extensively from earlier philosophical, scientific, and occult traditions, often distorting or simplifying these sources while stripping away key elements that made them meaningful. The omissions, as always, are deliberate, leaving gaps that direct readers towards Scientology as the only system capable of resolving these supposedly universal problems. The theta mess theory, at its core, reimagines age-old dualistic ideas. The concept of theta, pure spiritual energy that exists outside of the physical universe, borrows heavily from philosophical and religious traditions that explore the relationship between spirit and matter. For example, Gnostic teachings, which predate Scientology by centuries, describe a similar division: the spiritual world of pleroma, fullness, versus the corrupt material world of kenoma, emptiness. Additionally, the idea of theta as a life force that animates physical bodies echoes the Hindu concept of prana, or the Chinese qi, both of which describe a universal life energy. Hubbard takes these metaphysical concepts, strips them of their spiritual depth and historical context, and reframes them in pseudo-technical terms, claiming to have uncovered a scientifically valid explanation for how spiritual energy interacts with the material world. By doing so, he appropriates ancient ideas while presenting them as his own revolutionary discoveries. Hubbard also draws from 20th century scientific ideas, particularly early theories of quantum physics and relativity, to lend an air of legitimacy to his framework. The notion of theta being able to control mest and bend physical reality is reminiscent of how some misinterpret quantum mechanics, particularly the observer effect, where the act of observation can influence quantum particles. However, Hubbard distorts these ideas, using vague analogies rather than scientific rigor. For instance, he claims that thetans, spiritual beings, can create or destroy matter at will through a process he calls as-isness, erasing undesirable realities by perceiving them exactly as they are. While this draws on occult principles of visualization and manifestation, such as Aleister Crowley's notion of magic as the ability to alter reality through willpower, Hubbard strips these ideas of their esoteric roots and cloaks them in pseudoscientific language to make them appear objective and testable. This attempt to merge mysticism with science not only fails to meet scientific standards, but also diminishes the spiritual richness of his source material. Another likely influence is Alfred Korzybski's General Semantics, which explores how language shapes human perception and reality. Hubbard's theta mess theory seems to borrow Korzybski's idea that abstractions and symbols influence human understanding, but Hubbard oversimplifies it into a crude duality between spiritual causation, theta, and material effects, mest. Where Korzybski emphasized the need to evaluate information critically and avoid falling victim to rigid symbols or false assumptions, Hubbard weaponizes his framework to create a rigid, all-encompassing model of reality. In his system, any failure to control mest is framed as a flaw in the individual thetan's awareness or ability, conveniently leading to the need for further Scientology auditing. This twist not only perverts Korzybski's ideas, but also turns them into tools of manipulation, fostering dependence on Hubbard's methods rather than fostering independent critical thinking.